Shalom, shalom, Barakatah Yahuwah RL. Tonight's segment is going to be on the first letter of the Picture alphabet, Aluph. It's very important that we understand, so I'm doing a series from Aluph to Ta, the word Alph. But we're going to start with Aluph, and I'll be doing about a 15-minute segment. I'm trying to hold it 15 minutes. For each one of the Picture alphabet in order from Aluph to Ta. So tonight we're going to study and we're going to learn the word Aluph. And Aluph means, if you look at my board here, Aluph is the word for ox or bull. Aluph is very important because it's the number one. Number one. It is the first, the very first. And we're going to learn a few things tonight about the first. I remember when I first, Aluph, started learning the alphabet and the language and how to read it in Torah. When I was sitting in a Christianity church, and a group of us got together, and this is where I began. Most of us all come out of where we first started in Christianity, and it brought us to Yahuwah's alphabet. And the word alphabet starts with Aluph, and it's the first two letters, Aluph and Bet, which is the strong leader of the house. And Yahuwah created everything from his language. We all understand that. But what is the language? It is the alphabet. So tonight we're going to take the Aluph, the first letter, the strong leader, and we're going to see by not only how Yahuwah constructed everything from the beginning, even the beginning of man, which we are mankind, from the Aluph. So we're going to learn a little bit about, in the very beginning of Genesis, from the first man, how we were created from the arets, from the earth. Because we dwell and we inherit all of the land of the arets, earth, when Yahushua returns. We don't go to heaven. There's no heaven. Heaven is the word Shemayim. It's from the bottom of your feet all the way up to the top of the sky. It's the air that we breathe, that we walk around in every day. And this is going to be a very good segment. I'm really excited about this because my wife Julie, is sitting here, and we're starting this new series that I'm going to put on my YouTube channel, from Aluph, the first, the ox, to the Ta, to the very end. So from the very beginning to the end of the 22, well, I want to say 23 actual Picture alphabets, because I will be going into the Gon at the end of the series, and maybe some more, because I know there's at least 28 letters. But we only use the 22 today that we know of, but I do like to use 23, but I don't teach on Gon too much, but we will later. So let's start tonight with the Aluph and the Barashit, which is the word Genesis. It means the beginning. And I want you to notice that the word Barashit does not even start with the Aluph. Barashit is the word for beginning without the Aluph. Now, some people say the Aluph is a silent word, but it cannot be too silent if we say the word Ab, Father. It created everything from Aluph and Bet. And Ab spells the word alphabet, by the way. So Aluph cannot be too silent. If we say Ab, Father, we have the Ah in it. So let's go first. What is the word Aluph? with the spelling. And the spelling of the word is an aluph. It's the picture of an ox head. It means the first. And we got the Alumid. The Alumid, which is a shepherd's staff. It means to learn and to teach. It means to go to be led. And we know the Pei is the next letter, which is the picture of a mouth. It means to speak, just like I'm speaking. I'm speaking from the Aluph. I'm teaching from the shepherd's staff. And I'm speaking from my mouth. The Aluph. It means the first ox, the strong leader that teaches, commands by the mouth. And what does this really mean is what Yahuwah, or our El, first letter and the second letter in the word Aluph, is where we get the word El. El. And in your translations, most people want to use the word for God, but we know that God is actually the word Gad, which is one of our 12 tribes from the sons of Jacob. But El is Yah, like El Shaddai, Yahuwah. But Aluph is very important. So we have the ox, which is the strong leader. We have the Lumid, which is the shepherd. We have the Pei, which is the mouth, to speak. So in these teachings, we get the word El, and El refers to Yah. Okay? So let's go into Barashet, Genesis, and I want to go to verse 1, which is the verse or chapter Aluph. Verse 26, which would be the verse Ku, 26, chapter Aluph, verse Ku. And Elohim Yahuwah said, I will make man in my image, according to my likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the shemayim, the sky, and over the cattle and the livestock, and over all the arets, the earth, and over all creeping creatures that creep on the ground. We have dominion and power. This is our dominion. As mankind, this is our inheritance. This is what's created for us. Mankind has corrupted a lot of things, but when Yahushua returns, all things will be restored back to its original estate. And Yahuwah blessed them. And Yahuwah said to them, be fruitful and increase, and fill the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, the shemayim, the sky, and over all creeping creatures on the Aretz earth. And Elohim Yahuwah said, see, I have given you every plant and herbs and seed which is on the face, or the paneh, the turning of the face of all the earth. And when he said see, and the word paneh here means turning to the face, Adam looked all around him. And every tree whose fruit yields seed, to you it is for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the shemayim in the sky, and to every creeping creature on the Aretz earth, in which there is living being, every green plant is for food, and it came to be so. And Yahuwah Elohim saw that all he had made, and see, it was very too good. And there came to be evening, which is at the morning. Evening in the scriptures isn't at dark. Evening is at the very break of daylight. And it came to be morning on the sixth day. Did you catch that? And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the sixth day. Evening and morning are the meeting of the dark and the light of a day. So we're going to learn as we are children of light and not darkness from the very first. So first, Yahuwah said that he made man in his image. And he created him male and female. One man he created. And out of one man, out of the dirt, out of the admah, he made one man. And out of that man he brought forth his Ashah, his wife, Kua, with one thing. You see this dirt that we are to die, we will return back to the dirt and the dust tonight. Well, we return back to the first thing we were created from. So let's look at the word Adam. Well, first I want to teach you from the dirt. You see, I have the word admah. Admah. Okay? Admah. And admah means dirt. It means clay. Okay? I want this to be a hay revealing. Because out of admah is a man and a woman. Right here. See, that's a little woman figure. Means to reveal. Look at there. See that? Admah. We're going to enjoy this teaching tonight. So I'm going to read out of the picture Aluph bit for a moment. Uyu Ama Alua Yam Zavasa Adam Betzel Manu Kuyod Mut Zu Uya Yadu Be the goat, Huyam Uba Uf, Hushamayim, Ubabu Ma, Ubachel Haaretz, Ubachel Ha-mus. Huram El Haaretz. Uyayob Ra Elu Hayam Et Hadam. I'll show you how I read out of the picture Aluph bet. And if you can see, that's the word Hadam. Hey, this hey, the very beginning of the word Adam. It means reveal Adam. But the word admah is the word dirt. It means red and ruddy. He was made in the image and likeness, and he was the color of red and ruddy. So we got the strong leader, the Aluph, of the doorway, the dalet, and a mem, which is the blood of a man being revealed. Adamah is the word dirt. You see this? So in the word Adam, the word dirt, you see Adam as a man at the end of the word Adamah for dirt. Now you tell me that Yahuwah doesn't make things out of his picture Aluph bet, a visual language that he's seen from creation, from Adamah. Now watch, pay attention. You take that hay away, and you're left with the word Adam, Adam. And we know that man, you and I both, if you go cut yourself, you're blood filled, right? Well, guess what's in the very middle of the word dirt for Adamah? Not only do we get the word and name Adam, which means man or mankind, but you get the word Dam, Dalet, Mem. And that is the word blood. And what color is your blood? Red. And what color was the dirt that Yahuwah created Adam from? Was red. And Adam's name means red and ruddy. Not just because he's blood filled. Because I don't care what your skin color is. Do you know that you all blood red bleed? You bleed red blood. Everyone. Every one of us. Everyone. So we're going to look at a few of the words here that Yahuwah made out of Adamah, out of the dirt, as we just read. And he made from arets. But when you take the word Adamah with the hay at the end of it, and you take that off, you're left with the name Adam, the first man. And Aluph is number one and first. So at the end of the word Adamah, Yahuwah's purpose was a man standing there that he made. You see that? And his name was going to be what? Adam. And not only did he create Adam out of the Adamah, the earth, but that hay is also his bride, Kua, his wife. Because of out of Adam, from Adamah dirt, came Kua, his wife, from his Zalah, his rib. We're not going to stop there. We're going to go into a little bit more, because Kua was the mother of all living. We have a doorway, a dalet, to enter and to exit. That door right there, that dalet, that triangle, upside down triangle, if you want to say, that's Yahuwah's creation in his language, in his perfect picture Aluph bet. A triangle, yes. That triangle, when it's erased down here, I'm going to take it out. We're left with the word Aluph Mem, which is the word Am. The first blood. Am is the word for mother. And Kua, out of Adam, and Adam came out of Adamah, the first living mother of children was Kua, out of Adam that came out of Adamah. And we get the word Am for mother. The first blood, the first water that broke during birth. Huh? How many of you are mothers? How many fathers went into the surgery room during your wife's birthing and watched the water break for the first child? Your first child. There's a lot to this. Now I know I've been going 20 minutes and I said I'm going to try to keep it 15, but I'm going to let the Ruach speak. I want to show you a little bit of something else here. And I want you to turn to bottom sheet Bet 2 and verse Yod, which is verse 18. Bottom sheet Genesis chapter 2 and verse 18. Because remember, we're talking about the very beginning of the ancient path. Seek ye the ancient path, and you'll find all these answers. And we're starting with Aluph, which is the very first, the strong leader that speaks. Our shepherd. Shepherding the flock. Shepherding the livestock. Shepherding his cattle. Shepherding his people, Yashriel. And from, oh boy. Let's go to 15 first. Yud Hey is Yah, verse 15, about a sheet 2. And Yahuwah Elohim took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to guard it. Now, I want you to realize when he said guard this, see, Adam's fixing to get some Aluph in him. The strong leader is the shepherd that's teaching him. And what the strong leader teaches him, the strong leader is going to speak. He's not just going to command. He's going to ask him to take a task. And it's our responsibility to answer to Yahuwah by his mouth, by El's mouth, by Aluph Lamed, El, by the Aluph, his mouth that speaks. We are to hear Yahuwah's word. And what he says, we do. The Aluph is very, very important. And Yahuwah Elohim took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden. And Eden is the word for pleasure. It's Yahuwah's pleasure that he created mankind to work it and to guard it. And I'm guarding the word of Yahuwah from the very creation, because I'm given a task just like Adam, just like you are, through the Aluph bet that teaches us in all of its 5 meanings, which is a picture, it's a numerical value, it has an interpretation, a meaning. It's a letter, it's a picture, it's a number, it's a meaning, numerical value. Yahuwah help us. Picture. Number. It's a meaning. And from the ground Yahuwah Elohim formed every beast of the field and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man Adam to see. You see this? What he would call them. And whatever the man called each living being, that was its name. That's what its name. You and I can't change it. And so the man gave names to all the cattle. He started with the Aluph, the cattle. Adam, taught by his mouth what he spoke. Aluph, Lamed, Pei, the cattle that he was teaching what it was going to be called by his mouth when he spoke it, just like you have said. That was its name. So the man gave names to all the cattle and livestock, and to the birds of the Shemayim sky, and to every beast of the field. But for the man there was not found a helper for him and his counterpart. So Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall on the man, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. Do you know when he opened up the man Adam, that dam flowed? That dam poured out blood? Y'all don't really grasp. And we really need to. What this picture Aluph bet teaches from the very beginning. In the word admah, the earth that opened itself up, that pulled man out of it. And then man was pulled into a sleeping state. And out of it was pulled his wife. Out of admah, man was pulled, but out of admah, which was man, came the mother of all living. And we are the bride of Yahuwah, men. Because out from us came our Ashal, our wives. Because we are the bride of Yahuwah. Oh, help us. You're not a man. You're a bride. Men. Adam. You're the bride of the Creator. So that the man gave names to all livestock, and to the birds of the Shemayim sky, and to every beast of the field. But for the man there was not found a helper for him and his counterpart. So Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall on him, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, Aluph, one, Aluph, one rib, Aluph, one. Number one. We're in the very beginning of the Ancient of Days. One, Aluph. He closed up the flesh in its place. And the rib which Yahuwah Elohim had taken from the man, he made into a woman. And he brought her to the man, Adam. And the man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one, Aluph," oh Yahuwah, is called woman because she was taken out of Adam. And that's her. Adamah is the earth that Adam was taken from, and out of Adam is Kua, his wife, that became mother of all flesh. Look, this, you can't make this stuff up. For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother, and cleave to his Ishal, his wife, and they shall become Aluph, one. flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife. And they were not ashamed. Now we need to go into a little bit of Torah here. Because out of the word Aluph in Torah, we need to find out what the numerical value is. You see, we got a picture, we got a number, we got a meaning, we got a letter, interpretation. We got a word. The word of Yahuwah. See, the word of Yahuwah created everything. And each one of these letters has a numerical value. So I want you to go to the word Shemot, which is the word Exodus. And Shemot means the book of names, by the way. And just remember, we just read about Adam giving names. And so we need to look at the word of the name of Aluph. And we need to turn to Shemot, Exodus 7, chapter 7, Zon, verse Zon. 7. Chapter 7, verse 7. So let me give you a little bit of numerical value. We know Aluph means number 1. Right? And we know that Lamed means numerical value 30. And El is Yah. And at the age of 30, Yahusha began his ministry, as we're told from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, when he was appointed by Yehochanan, the immerser. The first, El, Lamed, teaching. He came teaching. Well, he came teaching at the age of 12, but I won't. But first, because he's a shepherd, as a young child, a young lad. But the word El, Aluph, has a numerical value for each letter. Aluph is number 1. Lamed is number 30. That's when Yahushua started his ministry. And when Moshe was brought out and into the branches of the Lamed is to teach, to show the name Yahuwah being instructed, taught by the mouth of Yah, of El. Moshe was 80 years old. Now let's prove that in some Torah. Let me show you what Aluph, our El, strong leader, speaking to us, sending us out into a missionary to evangelize, to preach, to teach, to instruct, to shepherd his people. Shemot, Zon, which is Exodus 7, verse 7. And Moshe and Aaron did as Yahuwah commanded them, so they did. And pay means to speak as he commanded. El Yah commanded by his mouth to speak to them, to tell them. Verse 6, going into verse 7. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe. And Moshe was 80 years old. And Aaron 83 years old when they spoke. Pay means to speak. To Farah. You see, El, the strong leader, the ox, the shepherd, spoke to Farah. When who was 80? Moshe. Aluph goes through and through and through the scriptures. over and over. This picture Aluph bet proves Scripture. Because Yahuwah has to lay everything out, not just by some kind of meaning, but in all 5 ways. And there's 5 ways to each picture Aluph bet. There's a picture. It's a number. It's an interpretation. It's a meaning. It's a letter. And it is an individual word. It's 5 things. The letter Hey, right here, means to reveal. And he's revealing it to you and me and everyone else before us and after us. Tonight is a very good night. Do you know who else was with Yahusha, the Mount Transfigurations? Moshe. Yahusha was there as the burning bush. Yahusha was there with him at the Mount Transfiguration. Yahusha's in control. He's our El. He's our Aluph. He's our strong shepherd, the leader that's speaking us and calling us out or calling us into something. Barak Yahuwah for Adamah, the earth that is red dirt, ruddy red, that Adam brought forth Hay, the revealing of his wife, Kua, that was the mother of all living. And only Aluph can do this. Now, just think for a moment about what Aaron did. What was the first thing when Moshe was up on the mountaintop with Yahuwah? He made an image of a golden calf, right? And he said, this is your El. This ox is your strong leader that's leading you out of Egypt. And we sometimes don't understand why Aaron made this ox. Because he knows the importance of it. This ox, this image, this strong leader that teaches and that's speaking. And Aaron was speaking that this Aluph was their strong leader that was spoken of, that brought them out, or bringing them out of Mitzrayim, Egypt. Now, I haven't done a whole lot of teaching on this, but I plan on one day teaching about how many ancient cultures, what we call worshiping an ox or a bull, and why they all done it. Because the strong importance of this Aluph is more than you and I in this modern world. If you don't even know the Aluph bet, let alone the language of Yahuwah, understand why this Aluph is so powerful and strong and was one of the first images and first things of all ancient cultures that anybody tried to follow. And I don't want to use the word worship strongly. I want to say use the word follow. Because we are supposed to follow. Just like our first love, as in the book of Hazan, Revelation speeches of, that we lost our first love. And first means number one, Aluph. I think in our English and everything that we know today in this culture, outside of the being a Brit, we're so confounded, we're so confused. We don't even know what the word worship is, let alone what it is to observe something is different than worshiping. And we're trying to follow something, yet we don't understand it enough that we don't know how to follow it thoroughly or understand it enough that we can't comprehend it and we get it wrong. just like the ancients did outside of the Hebrew language, and they took the ox, the Aluph, and they misused following it and were guided away by their own imaginations and proclaiming that it was Yahuwah when it is El Yah. But we forgot the name Yah. We forgot who El Shaddai that was leading us to the land of milk and honey from his own breast. El Shaddai Yahuwah. Barak Yahuwah. I didn't write this on my board, but if you look at the word Ash, that's the word husband. Or it's the word fire, and the word Aish is the word husband. Since I've gone this long, I might as well just let the Ruach keep going. And show a little bit more about this Aluph that's talking about a husband and a wife, since we're talking about Adam and Kua. So we're going to go into what it looks like when we talk about husband and wife, the fire of Yahuwah. Remember a while ago I was talking about the wife of Adam. This is the word Ashah. This is going to be the word husband. That's the yud, the hand of Yahuwah. It's the word Aish. That's the word husband. A Y S H. You see the word fire, which is these two words, letters right here. Ash. Ash. What does that sound like in English? Ashes from fire. The etymology of the word, even in English, that's how we get the word ash from fire in English, is because what does fire bring forth? When it consumes and it burns up all impurities, it leaves ash. And ash is the Hebrew word fire. Fire. And Ash, and we have the word ash, fire, is the word husband. And Ashah is the word for wife. And who created man and wife? Who created Adam and Kua? Yah. Because in the covenant of Ash and Ashah, husband, wife, man, woman, we have the word and the name Yah, right? Yud is in the word husband, Ash. The Hay, bride, and Hay does mean bride, is in the word Ashah. And it's bringing the hand of the man and the revealing of the woman from Yah's name. And guess what happens when we go outside in marriage and anything else of a covenant outside of the name of Yah, Yahuwah? We are left with ash, fire that burns the impurities, burns and consumes everything, and destroys life. When we think about America today, we think about, if you researched it and you was to use Google and you was to research how many divorces by percentage are in America today, you're going to find it's close to 80% of people that marry and divorce. That's a very large number. And do you know how many of all of those marriages that were ever done in the name of Yah or Yahuwah or Yosha? Do you know how many of those are? Not very many. Julie? We coveted in the name of Yah. Barak Yahuwah. That's what you're supposed to do. Because Yah is the creator of marriage. Now, let me go ahead and erase this real quick, because we just found the name Yah in the word Ash and Ashah, right? That's what's left. Yud, Hey. Okay? The name Yah. The one in the very beginning. So we got a Yud, which is the hand, a Hey, which means to reveal. It's a person standing with their arms raised. Okay? That's the hand of the Creator in Adam, the man, that his hand created out of that dirt. That's the name Yah. And then he took a nail, the sixth letter, and he took another Hey, which was the bride that he brought. The hand of Yah made Adam, Yah, and fastened and secured him to his bride, Kua, and that is where we get the name Yahuwah. Yud, hand, Hey, behold, the fastening of the bride revealed. Yahuwah. And what did Kua and Adam both do in the garden, in the very beginning of the garden? To sin. Yahuwah said, do not eat with your teeth of the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden And what did Kua's eyes do? She lusted upon the tree. Because of the consuming of the teeth at the fruit that they ate, because her eyes lusted upon it, that Yahuwah had to bring his Shah, salvation, and add it to his name because of the actions that they did to bring deliverance and salvation, because of the lust of the eye and the eating and consuming of the mouth of the teeth. And he brought salvation in his name to as Yahusha, from the man and the woman that he created that first brought sin into the world. Now you want to go back into a little bit of scripture here. I'm going to take you further. Let's go into Barashit, the Gamal, chapter 3, Genesis 3. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahuwah said, thou shalt not eat. Shin is the letter tooth, and our teeth eat. Shin is also spelt with the word none at the end of it, which is a seed. And fruit produces seed. So we have a shin that is a none with the spelling at the end of it. But you can't see that in the word Shah. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahuwah said, thou shalt not eat of it, nor touch it, lest you die. Consumed and destroyed. Shin means to consume or destroy. For Yahuwah knows that in the day that you eat of it, your eyes shall be opened. And Ain is the eye, and it is also spelt with the none of it, because once your teeth and your eyes lusted upon it, Shin has a none, which is the fruit-bearing seed, and the Ain, the eye that looked upon the fruit-bearing seed. And he took the experience in the Garden of Eden and made the word Shah out of it, the teeth that consumed of the eyes lusting of eating of that fruit, and applied it to the name Yah to deliver us. Brak Yahusha Mashiach, the anointed one, and only he can do it. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food to eat. She saw that it was good to eat. Barak Ruach Ushah, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree desirable to make one wise. And she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together to make loin coverings for themselves. And they heard the voice of Yahuwah. The Shin, the Ain, the eye that consumed the fruit that they ate, and were back to not only salvation, but they both heard the word from Yahuwah, who had called them. And the word Hua means another word for breath. His breath calls. And it takes us all the back to, if you look at the judgment time that Adam and Kuah were in the garden, and Adam blamed her, and she blamed the Nakesh, the bronze, the shining fruit. And it was, Yah said, no, Adam, it wasn't your wife that I fastened you to. It was my hand that created you. from the very beginning, the Aluph has the name Yah. Barak Yahuwah. Thank you for this session of the word Aluph. I hope everybody's enjoying it. There'll be many more sessions. Bet, the house of El Av, Father, will be next. Shalom.